There's orders now for 13 laps of Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup action. Who's going to make the start? Is it Brian Uriarte on pole position for the first time? They are get rolling well. And Christian Daniel Jr. just to slot in behind Veda Pratama. There's the 51. Brian Uriarte has the advantage, but is he going to hold that all the way? He's gone across to the right-hand side. He's now drifting over to the left. He tucks in behind Veda Pratama on the number 54, who leads into the first.
The pack there, Morelli's made a climb up from outside the top 10, seemingly to about 10th or 9th position. All cleanly through. Look at the number 11 of David Gonzalez there in 4th position now. He's carrying through that good form from Aragon.
Yeah, and all the riders of the rookies have done a lot better than the MotoGP guy.
Quality. You owe, well, you owe him a couple of Red Bulls, unfortunately.
No, right.
I was going to say, we can't do beers, too young, but there we go. There we have it. Well, hopefully the rider's all up and okay. It was the number 40 of Gabriele Tassini and the 72 of David da Costa.
All there. Anyway, back to the leaders. There's the 51 of Brian Uriarte in 2nd place, being chased hard by Christian Daniel Jr., but Veda Pratama has the advantage as they drop down onto the start-finish straight for the first time.
Hakim Danish, who started
as they sweep right-handed and go up the hill. It's the number 11 of David Gonzalez in 3rd place.
There is Danish. 6th position for your series leader by 30 points. Right back there, so that's Morelli up into 5th position now.
Yeah, and he can go well here. He's so frustrating because he has a great weekend and then a not so great weekend. He certainly is quick here. He was 3rd here actually, first time out back in 2004 of Veda Pratama. There's the 7th of Benyat Fernandez. As I say, he came back off 3rd, having only qualified 13th. He's up in the 7th place.
Quite a big group now forming at the front. It was just the sort of top 5 getting away from it, but it seems to be now. Look at them all fan out, Peter. 5 riders, and it's Danish coming out on top into 1st.
He came from at least 7th place as he crossed the line there, back into 1st place.
And Uriarte is all the way down in 9th. Goodness me, that's racing at Mugello for you in a night.
Then Christian Daniel Jr. on the 70. There, as you say, back in 8th place. Oh, that's the 50. That was actually 50 of Carter Thompson we saw in picture. And the 7th, I think Benyat Fernandez went up the inside there.
Yeah,
into 3rd place.
Won. Yeah, that was a heck of a move because you can sacrifice.
Absolutely superb. And Morelli, a bit loose there on the base, but he's collected it all up for the sweeping right-hander.
And Peter, that's Ramadipa in 4th position then. Brilliant, brilliant stuff.
Absolutely superb. Yes, the number 32, the 15-year-old Indonesian, Ramadipa. And fanning out again, 7 on one side of the track, the 95 of Marco Morelli on the other, but it is the 7 of Benyat Fernandez who has the slightest advantage. Who's going to be late on the brakes? Again, 5 abreast, is it? 5th?
First at the first corner once again then. So Uriarte is as you were basically a lap ago, but with Ben Fernandez and Morelli up the top once again. Mitani's joined the fray as well now. The number 34 into 7th position.
Yeah, and of course then it's his first Rookies Cup season, but he's looking good, as you say. Does he do it? I don't know. At the back there is the 13 of Hakim Danish. My goodness, that's close.
Danish got pushed back a little bit into the first turn of that one as Uriarte sides across the front of Morelli that time around into beyond in that's Corintaio, I think. For him and Christian Daniel Jr. gone very wide there, but it is Thompson who's unfortunately come off at the final turn.
I think he got it slowed down before he ran out of room.
Oh, and Morelli's got a long lap penalty for irresponsible riding, apparently.
Hakim Danish, the points leader.
And then we've got Leo Ramersdorf and the number 5. Not seen much of him so far this weekend. Actually qualified down in 10th position, but now he finds himself inside the top 4.
And yet, you know, I think he had a really great run in Aragon. It's really, giving him a tremendous confidence boost.
And nearly touching the back wheel of Danish then as he goes across the front of him. He loves a tough move into that part of the course, doesn't he? Goodness gracious me. We've got serious confidence in the front end to be able to do that. Uriarte, though, just fiercely determined. He knows at this stage in the season, Peter, 6 races left, 30 points to gap. He has
4 abreast. 5, 6, 7 abreast. My goodness gracious me.
And it's the Japanese rider of Zen Mitani who looks as though he's going to have the inside line into turn 1, but no, it's Morelli who cuts across the front of him, and Pratama is the one out front. Goodness.
Was on the green there, wasn't he? So he's got to watch that Veda if it looked suspiciously like he touched the green. And there is the number 95, the 17-year-old Argentine Marco Morelli, who has to do a long lap penalty.
Have we not seen it? Have we seen it on our TV screens? We've got it on our timing screens, but we're not seeing what for.
No.
So that information would be good to have.
What is it? The top 18 all bunched
now
up.
he's 17th again.
Yeah, so he's way back at the end of that group.
He can't have been so fast that he just... Did he punt Carter off? But I thought he was ahead of him at the time, but we'll have to find out after the race.
That's right.
And he's got a lot of work to do in 7 laps, though.
But has the advantage.
Oh, yes, he does. No, not for long, though, because it's actually Beñat Fernandez, as Leo Ramersdorfer looks on his outside, doesn't want to take anyone out. That is a very nice lad.
Yeah, but he's got, in doing that, he's lost about 4 places.
Yeah.
You are
the top 10 now. That's the best we've seen from him so far in his career.
You're on board with Hakim Danish on the 13 in 4th place at the moment as you go through the sweeping, climbing right-hander Uriarte 1 and 2, 180 kilometres an hour, 112 miles an hour.
Carter Thompson did not actually...
Expert, so maybe he's taken some advice. Anyway, the 7 of Beñat Fernandez, who has the advantage now. Brian Uriarte is up into 2nd place. That's the 16 of Joel Pons in the middle of the group there, and as you say, a much better ride than he's had all season so far.
Way as they come down to San Donato, the 32. Brilliant ride for the Indonesian as they're about 6 abreast into the first turn. This is Rookies Cup at its wildest.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say how brilliantly they're doing because that was fun. Has the advantage, but Brian Uriarte right on his tail. Then comes the 13 of Hakim Danish and the 7 of Beñat Fernandez.
Lucas Brown has unfortunately crashed out on this lap. He's seemingly okay according to the timing screen. Out of this one as well, but up and walking away.
Yeah, but hopefully it will be okay to have another go tomorrow. Well, William Picciolesi, as I say, the number 31 there.
From the back of the grid.
From the back of the grid, and here he is in 4th place.
Well then, still 12 minutes or so of racing to go, and it's still...
The Japanese. Oh, and now there's using everything, bits of paint, everything there. Out across the road, who is going to have the advantage? The 31 of Giulio Pugliese, the local hero, almost has the lead into the first corner, but in fact it isn't. It's Brian Uriarte.
Very good job.
And this isn't what Brian Uriarte wants to have really coming down towards the end of the race here, because he's gone from 1st to 10th and back to 1st. He wants it to try to break it up if he possibly can, so he'll be putting in the laps as hard as possible now to see if he can get away from these guys.
Time of 2:01.0. So last time around Ramadipa putting in a 2:02.7. I think that's why we've got such a big group of riders, Peter. I mean, a lot of them thinking about the slipstream down the start and finish straight, and perhaps no one,
certainly not this weekend, what we've seen so far. Right, coming down, there'll be just 4 laps remaining. There it is, the 51 of Brian Uriarte moves across there. You can't do too much swinging around like that. That's not allowed, but just moving across, it's fine. You're on
third with Zen Mitani in 4th. That is in the background. That's Joel Pons who got pushed out wide, unfortunately.
Yeah, but let's hope he can get back on the group. But, I mean, you were on board with Hakim Danish. You saw all the bunch around you, how tight it was. And still, he managed to outbreak everybody at the inside.
It's to Morelli starting to make a bit of a fight back.
It still is the number 13 of Hakim Danish, the points leader, who has the slightest advantage. But number 5 up the inside. Austria leads then. Leo Ramersdorfer, the 20-year-old Austrian, takes the advantage.
But now, is he being pushed right back across? He's in 9th position now.
And Iriarte's gone back to 8th. As you say, you know, you lead the race across the line and then end up back in 8th place. But the number 5 of Leo Ramastaff are looking super cool out front now. I can't believe that it might be
201 some of the late 201 some of the riders in this group, which means they've got a lot more speed in their pocket, which no one really wants to lead coming out that final corner, do they?
No, it's the 7 of Beñat Fernandez, the 17-year-old Spaniard who now has the slightest advantage. The 9 of Luca Agostinelli, who's in 7th place. You don't hear us talk about him too often, but he's part of the mix at the moment, looking for a podium place.
Adopted Vietnamese rider living in Italy. What a story that rather sensibly as Brian Iriarte dives up the inside once again. Rally gets the switch back as they come into the Biondetti chicane right now. Beñat Fernandez with the lead ahead of Danish and Pratama. Zen Mitani is really boxed in there. Now coming across the line about 8th or so position, but he's going to get a massive slingshot down towards turn 1. Look at them all go. They'll all fan out, but then who will end up in P1? Brian Iriarte for now.
Brian Iriarte. Now, Beñat Fernandez did lead out of the last corner and he led across.
Christian Daniel Jr. started 3rd position. He's in 4th right now. He's been relatively quiet, sort of just sneakily going about it, not getting into touch wood too much trouble thus far. Now finds himself back in the Premier position. He's certainly got some good speed about him. Maybe he was right. Maybe he's got something in hand coming on to the final laps.
Yeah.
Now is the moment it starts to get really rather tense. This final lap in Mugello, it's going to be all about finding your position to go onto the onto the front straight out of the final corner, the run to the line. No major weaving. We don't want any. Not going to like this. They're not going to enjoy that at all. That's
no, right.
not what they want to see.
It is the 70 of Christian Daniel Jr. who leads the Rookies Cup race across the line onto the last lap here at Mugello, and alongside him is Zen Mitani, the Japanese, on the 34, and they fan out. It's about 6th abreast. Brian Iriarte has it, I think, ahead of him as Agostinelli. Ramastaff is there as well, so Brian has got work to do on the last lap.
And they're starting to pull away pieces. That lap last time around was a mid-202. That was rather slow, so they got some Phil Pratama leading the way, eking out all the corner speed that he possibly can. As we now come over the top of the hill, the highest point of the circuit, and down they come once again then into this right and left-hander.
And Pugliese is in 2nd place. There is the number 11 of David Gonzalez in 3rd place.
He's just over to 8.
And Veda Pratama has the slightest advantage, but can he afford to be in front at this stage? Behind him is the 31 of Pugliese, the Italian hero.
Right, this is the
31 of Pugliese is looking with slipstream. Veda Pratama has it though. No one's going to pass him surely before the finish. It's going to be Indonesia.
He's done it. He's done it.
it.
Pratama wins then. What a ride that was. He was the one who played it the most sensible. He was the craftiest and he has reaped the reward. Pratama wins in...
Veda Ega Pratama jadi sorotan utama dunia balap hari ini. Hari ini, nama Veda Ega Pratama kembali menjadi perbincangan hangat di dunia motorsport, khususnya di kalangan pecinta balap motor Indonesia. Pembalap muda asal Gunung Kidul, Yogyakarta, ini tampil gemilang di ajang Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup 2025, mencatatkan hasil impresif yang memperkuat posisinya sebagai talenta masa depan Indonesia di ajang balap internasional. Di seri terbaru yang digelar di sirkuit Titi Assen, Belanda, Veda tampil luar biasa sejak sesi latihan bebas. Ia menunjukkan konsistensi dan kecepatan yang menakjubkan, bersaing ketat dengan pembalap muda top dari seluruh dunia. Pada balapan utama, Veda berhasil finish di posisi top 5, bahkan sempat memimpin di beberapa lap awal sebelum akhirnya harus puas di posisi keempat setelah duel sengit di tikungan terakhir. Penampilan Veda hari ini menuai banyak pujian dari pengamat balap Eropa. Komentator internasional menyebutnya sebagai bakat langka dari Asia Tenggara yang siap menembus level Moto3 atau bahkan Moto2 dalam beberapa tahun ke depan. Di media sosial, tagar Veda Ega Pratama sempat menjadi trending di Indonesia, dengan ribuan netizen menunjukkan dukungan dan rasa bangga terhadap perjuangan anak muda 15 tahun itu. Tak hanya itu, Federasi Balap Motor Indonesia, ini, juga menyatakan apresiasinya atas pencapaian Veda. Mereka menegaskan komitmennya untuk terus mendukung pengembangan karir Veda, termasuk membuka peluang baginya untuk mengikuti program pembinaan lebih lanjut ke level MotoGP Junior World Championship. Veda Ega Pratama hari ini bukan hanya mencetak prestasi, tapi juga inspirasi, bahwa pembalap Indonesia bisa bersaing di panggung dunia. Veda Ega Pratama jadi sorotan utama dunia balap hari ini. Hari ini, nama Veda Ega Pratama kembali menjadi perbincangan hangat di dunia motorsport, khususnya di kalangan pecinta balap motor Indonesia. Pembalap muda asal Gunung Kidul, Yogyakarta, ini tampil gemilang di ajang Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup 2025, mencatatkan hasil impresif yang memperkuat posisinya sebagai talenta masa depan Indonesia di ajang balap internasional. Di seri terbaru yang digelar di sirkuit Titi Assen, Belanda, Veda tampil luar biasa sejak sesi latihan bebas. Ia menunjukkan konsistensi dan kecepatan yang menakjubkan, bersaing ketat dengan pembalap muda top dari seluruh dunia. Pada balapan utama, Veda berhasil finish di posisi top 5, bahkan sempat memimpin di beberapa lap awal sebelum akhirnya harus puas di posisi keempat setelah dua sengit di tikungan terakhir. Penampilan Veda hari ini menuai banyak pujian dari pengamat balap Eropa. Komentator internasional menyebutnya sebagai bakat langka dari Asia Tenggara yang siap menembus level Moto3 atau bahkan Moto2 dalam beberapa tahun ke depan. Di media sosial, tagar Veda Ega Pratama sempat menjadi trending di Indonesia, dengan ribuan netizen menunjukkan dukungan dan rasa bangga terhadap perjuangan anak muda 15 tahun itu. Tak hanya itu, Federasi Balap Motor Indonesia, IMI, juga menyatakan apresiasinya atas pencapaian Veda. Mereka menegaskan komitmennya untuk terus mendukung pengembangan karir Veda, termasuk membuka peluang baginya untuk mengikuti program pembinaan lebih lanjut ke level MotoGP Junior World Championship. Veda Ega Pratama hari ini bukan hanya mencetak prestasi, tapi juga inspirasi, bahwa pembalap Indonesia bisa bersaing di panggung dunia. Veda Ega Pratama jadi sorotan utama dunia balap hari ini. Hari ini, nama Veda Ega Pratama kembali menjadi perbincangan hangat di dunia motorsport, khususnya di kalangan pecinta balap motor Indonesia. Pembalap muda asal Gunung Kidul, Yogyakarta, ini tampil gemilang di ajang Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup 2025, mencatatkan hasil impresif yang memperkuat posisinya sebagai talenta masa depan Indonesia di ajang balap internasional. Di seri terbaru yang digelar di sirkuit Titi Assen, Belanda, Veda tampil luar biasa sejak sesi latihan bebas. Ia menunjukkan konsistensi dan kecepatan yang menakjubkan, bersaing ketat dengan pembalap muda top dari seluruh dunia. Pada balapan utama, Veda berhasil finish di posisi top 5, bahkan sempat memimpin di beberapa lap awal sebelum akhirnya harus puas di posisi keempat setelah dua sengit di tikungan terakhir. Penampilan Veda hari ini menuai banyak pujian dari pengamat balap Eropa. Komentator internasional menyebutnya sebagai bakat langka dari Asia Tenggara yang siap menembus level Moto3 atau bahkan Moto2 dalam beberapa tahun ke depan. Di media sosial, tagar Veda Ega Pratama sempat menjadi trending di Indonesia, dengan ribuan netizen menunjukkan dukungan dan rasa bangga terhadap perjuangan anak muda 15 tahun itu. Tak hanya itu, Federasi Balap Motor Indonesia, IMI, juga menyatakan apresiasinya atas pencapaian Veda. Mereka menegaskan komitmennya untuk terus mendukung pengembangan karir Veda, termasuk membuka peluang baginya untuk mengikuti program pembinaan lebih lanjut ke level MotoGP Junior World Championship.